Hello and welcome to Getting to Know the Athletics podcast. I'm your host, Brian Welch. This season we hear from the players from the Fresno Athletics. Our first guest of the season was a part of history with the walk-off win against the Menlo Park Legends out of the California Collegiate League on June 4th. We introduced the Viking from Valley City State, Hunter Logan.
Hunter Logan, the Viking from Valley City State, trying to get the knockout blow against Menlo Park. First pitch, bunts it down that first base side, picked up by the first baseman, tosses it over to third base, and escapes away. Here comes Parker Crystal, speeding towards home, and the Athletics will walk it off against Menlo Park. For the first time ever in the Athletics history, they have beaten a California Collegiate League baseball team, and they do it at home in Game 1 of the doubleheader.
Let's go back to Tuesday. Game 1 of that doubleheader against Menlo Park, bottom of the eighth, runners at second and third. What's your thought process right now when you come up to the plate?
I had no personal thought process because Coach told me exactly what I needed to do. I was going to lay down the bunt. I was going to get the guys over. Next guy was going to score him, and Logan was supposed to be the hero of that game. So that's really all that was going through my head, just get the bunt down and get him over.
When you got that bunt, you know that you are a part of history with that play.
How so, Brian?
The Athletics have never beaten a CCL team.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now I feel a little proud of myself for that bunt, really. I mean, I felt proud before, but now there's something to be proud of.
That's good to hear. Hunter Logan is our guest on the first episode of Getting to Know the Athletics. We're recording this in the team hotel in Eureka, California, for the first road trip of 2024 for the Fresno Athletics. Talk about you being from Southern California, originally from Pear Blossom, California. How would you describe Pear Blossom, California, my friend?
Pear Blossom's kind of in the middle of nowhere, about 20 minutes west of Victorville, 20 minutes east of Palmdale. Little town, not too many people. I think population about 2,000. But really, it's just a lot of desert, a lot of fun. We're right on the base of the San Gabriel Mountains, so it's really fun to just be out there. A lot of stuff to do around, just town and nature. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of living to do.
And you went to Pear Blossom High School, and you went to Antelope Valley College. What was that experience like, playing for the Marauders?
So the Marauders was a really, really good experience for me. I really got to experience what it was to be, part of a baseball team collegiately and learn that not everyone will have the same opinions as you, but some people will. You can't please everyone. So it really helped me mature as a person to go to Antelope Valley College and then transfer out my sophomore year.
And with that, being that from that Southern California region, do you have a favorite spot to eat, like in Pear Blossom or on campus or around the campus of Antelope Valley College?
So there's this little Mexican spot in Little Rock, California, and it actually has no name. Like, there's not a name to it, but it has the best street tacos you'll ever find. And sometimes on Tuesdays, well, it used to be back in the $1 tacos. Gotcha. So it'd be $1 street tacos, but that's probably the best spot to eat.
So are you an asada guy or a carnitas guy?
Depends on my mood. I mean, normally I like the carnitas, but asada will get you sometimes. Asada's got to be the way to go. So
asada?
Yeah.
So you transferred from Antelope Valley College to Valley City State. What was that experience like, transferring to a whole new school and a whole new state and with whole different weather than sunny California? What was that experience like?
Oh, it was definitely a shell shock. My first week up there, we had emails coming out to us that it was going to be negative 40 degrees, and if we were outside for longer than 10 minutes, that we might get frostbite on our toes and fingers. So coming from Southern California, where we never had a day below 45 degrees, it was an extreme shock. But you get used to it. You wear your big jackets, you wear layers of clothes, not just one dry fit, one shorts. You pack it on, and then practice happens. You're indoors most of the time. You're weightlifting, but you always have something to do up there. So it was cold. Yeah, it was definitely a shell shock, but I think it was another great experience for me to be able to see what the rest of the world is like, see what other weather is like, instead of just being stuck in my hometown.
Well, I mean, California weather's pretty nice.
Oh, you're telling me.
Yeah. You were talking about the layers earlier. How many layers did you have on, like, for one practice when it was in the cold part of the season?
I think there was about 3 layers because I would wear a thick undershirt that would go down to my wrist, and then I would wear a thin one on top of that was compression, so it would be tight to my body, and then I would wear my Valley City shirt over it. So 3 layers there, and then pants I'd wear 2. I'd have my thermals on and then my pants on underneath it, or sweats underneath it, or on top of it, I mean.
And this is your first season with the Athletics. What do you want to do to make yourself a better player before you go back to Alec DeMaria's baseball team?
I want to be able to record a hit before, the end of the season. I know I'm on a hitless streak of about 7 games now, but I've been trying everything to get it done, and the quality at bats keep rolling in, 6, 7, 8 pitches in at bat, but I just can't seem to make the ball drop right now. Eventually it'll happen. It happens to every player eventually. So just maybe hit the ball one time, and I think Alec will be very pleased with it.
And how would you describe your plate discipline? Because I noticed this whole entire lineup from 1 through 9 is really discipline at the plate. Fouling off pitches, not swinging at everything. Where does that come from you? How did you learn about being disciplined at the plate?
Really, I think it's just the years of experience that build up. You have 18 inches of plate to work with. After 10 years of playing the game, you really get to understand that those 18 inches are strict. And then sometimes you get those umpires that give you a couple balls off each way, and you strike out looking, and you're like, well, I don't know. But yeah, I think really that just comes from experience, and all these guys that are on the team really have a lot of experience playing high-level baseball. And so they know that 18 inches of plate is 18 inches, not an inch more, not an inch less.
All right, so let's give you some rapid-fire questions before we go here on the Getting to Know the Athletics podcast. Getting to know Hunter Logan out of Valley City State. Favorite pregame meal?
I think I've had Chick-fil-A the last 4 home games, so I'd have to go with Chick-fil-A. Just 2 regular chicken sandwiches.
Anything to drink?
No drink, just water.
No drink? Nothing? Gotta stay hydrated?
Gotta stay hydrated.
All right, favorite song to listen to when you're warming up?
Oh, I like Wu-Tang, Protect Your Neck. That's probably my favorite. It's supposed to be my walk-up song. I don't know what happened to it, but it got lost somewhere along the way. But Wu-Tang, Protect Your Neck. Clean version, of course. Of course,
the clean version. Favorite part about being in Fresno?
Baseball. I feel just completely free. There's no school. There's no extracurricular. It's just strictly baseball. This is what I've been living for. This is what I've been waiting for. It's all I've ever wanted to do. Just wake up, go to the gym, leave the gym, play baseball. That's all I've ever wanted to do, and now I finally get to do it. It's living out my dream.
Well, that's good to hear. One last question before I let you go here, Hunter. The biggest question and the hardest question you'll answer today. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Nah, I'd consider it more like a taco.
How so?
It's wrapped underneath. It's got the meat in the middle. I wouldn't consider it a sandwich because it's definitely closed off on 3 ends. So is a taco. But I definitely think if we were to consider it, anything but a hot dog, it would definitely be a taco.
Hunter Logan has just brought a new philosophy to this whole entire great debate as if a hot dog is a sandwich. But Hunter, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast, and good luck for the rest of the season, my friend.
Thank you, Brian, for having me.
That was a very good conversation with Hunter. I think he might be on to something with the hot dog debate. Until then, I'll see you next week. I'm Brian Welch. As always, go A's.